The divorce papers felt cold in my hands in Freya 28. At my own birthday dinner, my sister Rachel announced she was pregnant with my husband's baby. Before I tell you how I shattered their world, know this: they thought they were in control in the middle of the ivory room. In St. Petersburg, with everyone watching, Rachel dramatically placed her hand on her bump. Yamar stood beside her, smug, his hand on her shoulder. "We're a family now," Rachel sneered, expecting me to break down. But I didn't. I took a slow sip of my Russian red wine, smiled and raised my glass. They thought they owned the scene. They didn't know I wrote the script growing up. I was the reliable one. Rachel was the golden child when she wanted a designer dress. My parents gave her everything when I needed a textbook for college. I got a lecture. They mistook my quiet for weakness. Their first mistake. 6 weeks before that dinner, I picked up our family iPad and saw an email from Rachel to Yamar. Our plan: I shouldn't have opened it, but I did. The affair, the pregnancy, and their plan to humiliate me at my birthday were all there. Rachel had written, "Shall be too broken to fight back." She never fights back. I didn't cry. Locked myself in the bathroom and let out a single silent gasp. Then the grief hardened into rage. I called my best friend Jessica. "It's happened," I told her. "I'm not going to cry. I'm going to burn it all down. We'd been trying for a baby for years. Yamar got tested at Northwood Clinic and told me the results said he was fine, implying I was the problem. He let me carry that pain. I needed the truth." Jessica, a paralegal, helped me get the real results. 2 weeks later, I had the azoospermia sterile. He couldn't have children. The pregnancy wasn't just betrayal, it was a lie exposed. I checked our bank statements. There was no payment to Northwood, just a 200,000 cash withdrawal. I hired a private investigator. What he found made my stomach turn. Secret payments to Rachel and a 200,000 embezzled payment from Yamar's company to buy a house in my mother's name. It wasn't just betrayal, it was a conspiracy. Now back to the dinner. I stood, raised my glass to family and to the truth. I handed Yamar a folded paper. He opened it, confusion, then fear. "That's the real report from Northwood," I said clearly. "The biggest lie wasn't sleeping with my sister, it was pretending you could be a father." Gasps filled the room. Rachel's smile vanished. She looked at her stomach in horror. "And Mom," I added, "when the company investigates that 200,000, they'll want the house back." Chaos erupted. Yamar lunged across the table, screaming. Security dragged him away as my mother sobbed, and Rachel froze in shock. I picked up my purse. Jessica appeared beside me. Rachel grabbed my arm. "Freya, please," she whispered. I looked her in the eyes. "Call Ryan," I said. "He deserves to know he's going to be a dad," and I walked out. 6 months later, I'm in a pottery studio in a different part of the city. My hands are in clay and I'm laughing with Jessica. The divorce is final, she asks. As of Tuesday. I smile. His company settled. They didn't want a public case. My phone buzzes. A headline: former finance exec Yamar Peterson sentenced to 5 years for embezzlement. I feel nothing, just quiet. I turn back to my pottery wheel. Now I say, "Where were we?" On my balcony. There's a single orchid I rescued. It looked dead, but it wasn't. Today it bloomed. For a long time, I thought I was broken, but I wasn't. I was just planted in the wrong garden.